You guys know what that means. We're here for the original season 4, episode 10, Phantomesque. Stay tuned.
You're tuning into the destination for TV superfan discussion, AfterBuzz TV. And now, let the buzz begin.
Guess who's back? Back again.
Is this a cool dance?
Oh, it's so cool.
Cool.
I do the robot.
Oh, you're
you know
the
my
open hand
bad
now.
robot?
Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Guess who's back? Oh, you gotta let dangle now. Guys, guess who is back? Well, first of all, it's us because last week there was no show.
There was no show.
So that's pretty cool.
Very excited.
But way more importantly, we had a Rebekah and Kol episode. I can't even believe that it happened. I'm Roxy Striar. You can find me everywhere at Roxy Striar, and Sam Davidson.
Hey guys, Sam Davidson here. You can find me on Twitter and Instagram at SamD43. And since our chat mistress is missing tonight, Tiana, we love her, I will be taking her role, so keep on chatting.
It just would have been too good to be true if Rebekah came back, Kol came back, Davina came back, and Tiana was here.
Yes.
So we had to let her sit this one out. We were like, we don't want to overwhelm the people with goodness. Chat mistress, you got to stay home. That's what happened.
Yeah, it would have been too good to be true. So sorry guys, we just needed to even out the playing level here.
I actually feel like I'm going to get some angry tweets about that, so I would like to clarify that that was sarcasm. In case you guys didn't get that was me being sarcastic.
Yes.
I did not actually send Tiana a text saying she was not allowed to be here. She's on a secret mission.
She's sitting outside in the corner. I mean, she's in a timeout.
Oh my God, why did we put her in a timeout?
You did. I don't know why you did it.
Oh, I was just angry.
Yeah, just in a bad mood, you know?
Probably opened the wrong door.
Yeah.
You know, she opened one of the white doors. I was inside the red door. It just happens to us sometimes.
Well, it's okay. And again, guys, we're joking.
So in general, I thought that this was A, the best episode of the season, and B, potentially one of the top 3 episodes ever. I loved this episode. What did you think, Sam?
I loved it because it had all of our favorite people basically in it, and Josh was back in this one as well.
Yes, Josh.
And we had everyone except for Vincent and Keelan. But I thought seeing our OG people back together working, that's what dreams are made of. It was like a reunion episode to me, and I love that.
You pointing out who wasn't there just bummed me out a little bit.
Sorry.
Because I feel like you're right. I think that Keelan, yes, but she's newer. Vincent really deserved to be in this episode. But there wasn't space/time really. Like we're not focusing on the witches right now, so where would he have gone?
It's fine. I mean, Josh has been gone for a few. Vincent's, I feel like Vincent and Josh might just kind of be on the same pay grade, and they just like throw them between episodes.
Like they're one person, so they can't be in the same one.
It's like, should we have Vincent or Josh this week?
Yeah.
We only can have one, maybe. Occasionally we can have them both.
That plus having to pay somebody to style Rebekah's hair the way that they do, because that person's a mad genius.
Yes.
Yeah, that really knocked us down.
Well, that scene in itself, right?
Okay. When we started, we're like dancing, we're grooving, we're in the French Riviera, and I'm like, is this the wrong show? What did I just put on? Where am I? What's happening?
I thought it was a flashback.
So fun. This is why we need a spin-off of Rebekah and Kol road tripping. I need that in my life.
Well, I guess, though, if their life is so good and awesome, there isn't a show.
That's true.
But I still want to see all of those fun times.
Remember when we crimped Caroline's hair on the Vampire Diaries?
Of course I remember. I did it myself.
Wow, why have you not offered to do that to me? Really rude. We're co-hosts.
Only it's a big secret. So I'll tell you about it later.
Okay, cool. I just hope you know that now thousands of people know, because this is
cool.
online.
I have a new business. I really should start learning how to crimp hair.
So I felt like this was Rebekah's Caroline hair moment. She came out, she's partying at the club, she's rocking that look, and I'm like, who is this chick? It took me a second to be like, what year am I in? What is going on here?
French Riviera.
Yes.
So I guess they party way better there is the only thing I can assume.
So much cooler than my life.
Yeah.
Why is this not my life? Except for the part where people start dropping dead. So
yeah,
that wasn't that chill. All right, question for you. These people that are attached to Elijah via his sire line, who have now dropped dead, similar to when this has happened before, when we've lost other originals, are they dead, or do they come back when Elijah comes back?
Great question. I don't really have the answer for that. But Another question I had, though, when this whole thing was happening was, why specifically are they with a bunch of his sires?
I just think
Elijah's
the whole
sires.
club was full of vampires.
Okay.
It seemed like a whole vampire
It was like a
club.
vampire club, and it just so
So-
happened maybe to be...
Well, everybody's either a sire of one of them.
That's true. It's so funny because you forget to think about that. I forget to think that these are the original. So even if they don't know any original, they're still coming from an original sire line.
Exactly. So, and I was thinking, okay, we already lost Tyler, and I think he was one of Elijah's sires. And the people and Vampire Diaries is over as is. So does this affect anybody we know, anybody we love?
Ooh,
I don't know.
man. I mean, I'm sure it actually does affect people we know and love on the Vampire Diaries when you think about it.
We need a sire line tree.
We do need a sire line tree. If anyone wants to make that for us, then you're more than welcome to. I'll look into it because there are... I think most of the people we knew were from Klaus's sire line.
Would the sire line tree be cherry, apple, or other?
I think it would be kind of like an apple tree.
An apple tree.
Yeah,
I was
kinda
sensing that, like the red. Yeah.
Very Adam and Eve-esque.
You guys let us know. That's one of the most important questions of the day. Write in the comments below, or if you're on iTunes, what kind of tree?
Yeah, what
Is
kind
the
of tree would you
Mikaelson
say?
sire line
Just like a blood tree.
It's like
It's a little scary.
a little intense. Well, yeah, especially after trees on this show. We see blood tree last week with the hollow.
Yes.
We'll talk about that in a little bit, though. So Rebekah and Kol obviously come back because they put two and two together. They realize this means that Elijah must be dead or something must be happening. They come on home. It's episode 10. It's about time. We only have 3 episodes left after that of this season, so I was really happy to reunite this week. I feel like usually we save it for this finale or for the week before, but I think it's good that we'll have seemingly 4 episodes with them.
You think they're going to...
Well, Rebekah says it. Rebekah says this week, I'm going to stick around New Orleans.
Okay. I
You
don't
don't
trust
believe
her.
her? I know.
It's not her fault. Maybe she'll be sent into like death or oblivion or wherever it is that...
Well, at least her name will be around for the next 4 weeks. She'll be a
Yes.
relevant part of the show because sometimes she goes and it's like, oh, man, can't we just mention her where she is?
Okay, we got some interesting information about the sire lines. Nicholas Kelly, Sam Roxy, Tyler's from Klaus's sire line, but once he died via traveler spell / purification and came back as a normal werewolf, it didn't affect him anymore.
Right. So who's from Elijah's? Any of them?
That's the thing. I'm trying to remember who's from Elijah's, and I can't specifically remember who was from his sire line. It might have been brought up. I'm sure it was brought up some point in the Vampire Diaries, but
Well, they probably don't even know anymore who exactly is where, so it's risky. But if you guys know, definitely let us know that. So Rebekah, Kol, they come back. And Rebekah, Kol, and Klaus team up for a hot second. They are on a mission. They are going to get the last of these thorns, and they're going to get rid of them. The thorns, obviously, that Marcel's blood made so they can kill them, etc. What do you feel about this whole thorn storyline this season? Do you feel like it's a good thing? Is it a big bad? Is it
well, every rose has its thorn, as they say. And
Ooh, I didn't even set you up to say that.
I don't. The thing is that it's kind of annoying. It's a little bit scavenger hunt-y, and it's been going on for a lot of episodes, and they're
Very
just
White Oak-esque.
Yeah, but for me, the white oak worked more. A thorn is so small. I don't know why it matters, but in my
But these
brain,
aren't small. These are whole things.
I know
They just
they're
call
whole
them
things,
the-
but it makes me picture like a small thing, and
with a prick in your side.
I just identify more with the white oak because I think we had heard about it for so long. It's all right. What do you think about it?
I think it's okay. I think it's interesting that it is the device that is causing Marcel, Rebekah, and Klaus, and all of the originals actually to be having this conversation. So I like what it does for the show, but I'm like, is this realistic? Is this what would happen?
Well, okay, the realistic thing goes out the window,
Yes.
I think, when we turn on the television to watch this. But I do think that, right? I say that all the time.
I less so mean that and more so mean on this show where we are always looking for ways to kill originals, do we think that they really, in the truth of this world, it would have taken them this long to be able to figure this out? I know that Marcel's been like this for a little bit now, so...
It's not like, the almighty thorns.
Yes,
God, we've been
yes.
talking about this forever.
Yes.
But I do think that it is a great device to bring everyone back together, which I love. So I'm not mad at it.
Right. So
because we brought everyone back.
I agree. So we're torturing a witch because that's what we do. We're the originals, and
They really
Rebekah
need to
and
stop
Kol.
doing that.
Rebekah and Kol are ready to kick some butt. So it's like, even when we get our home players, our Klauses and our Elijahs of the world, to be like, all right, we're going to be good for now. Then when you bring back Rebekah and Kol, it's like everything's out the window. We know that they're going to kick some booty.
Especially Cole. He has no control over himself.
Yes,
And we'll
that's
get
true.
into that later, but I mean, you can't trust him.
Colvina! Hell yeah. All right, so we are torturing this witch, and the witch lets out the fact that the Harvest Girls are the ones that are communicating with the ancestors, and the ancestors, of course, spark Cole to remind him of Davina. If they can communicate with the ancestors, they obviously can communicate with Davina, and Cole flies off the handles. Which shocked not.
No.
Yeah.
Didn't
Is
shock
that
me.
English that I just said? Shocked not.
Shocked not. I like that, though. It's very proper, but not.
But not. Not. Yeah, this was very classic Cole. I feel like it was right in line with what his character would do.
Well, and he's the thing that I like that because we've known him since the Vampire Diaries, and we've seen him evolve so much. And when he was with Davina, it's like he finally had that person that everyone goes crazy for, or they save somebody for.
Crushed my heart.
And I like that. That's his kind. I mean, a lot of stuff makes him upset, but this specifically is like, this is his girl.
So he goes off on his own mission, which we'll touch upon in a little bit. But Rebekah and Klaus are now on the same mission. They're going to keep on getting these thorns. Marcel obviously comes. There's a little bit of tension. Rebekah spills the beans, and Marcel takes off to go find this other thing. Now, at this point, were you with Klaus when you're like, oh, Rebekah, you talk too much about this. Why'd you do that? Or were you with Rebekah like, this at one point was the love of her life. She's allowed to say whatever she wants.
100% with Rebekah. And I loved that scene so much, and how Marcel said to her, her name is Sophia, and just kind of, I don't know, like a respectful, let me give you a bit of the lowdown of what's been happening with this girl that I care about.
So the scene when they finally do get to the thorn, and Marcel and Rebekah has it, and she gives it back to Marcel, that was the one that you loved?
I loved that too, but wait, was that the one when he told? Yeah,
that's when she finally says. I thought that was unbelievable. My heart skipped a beat because Rebekah and Marcel, even as he said on the show, even as Charles said on the show, they are endgame. They're in love. They've got to be endgame. And this moment where Rebekah loves him so much that she even loves his love and cares about this person who might be standing in the way of them having a relationship, that was really strong, and it reminds us who Rebekah is at her core.
But I will say this again, I desperately wish we were able to have more of a connection with Sophia. Someone in the chat mentioned Valerie, who we didn't love as a character from the Vampire Diaries, but we grew to understand and like her. We didn't really get that with Sophia.
Definitely, because she was the hollow so quick.
But before that, we hated her too. At least I hated her from the beginning of the season. Who is this chick? Wait, she was in last season. She looks totally different. No, she's bad. She's trying to bring everybody down, and she's seducing Marcel. And I think I didn't like how Marcel was when he was with her, because he was so not good at the beginning of the season.
But I think that Marcel is having debates in his mind too about how much he actually cares for Sophia, whether she is just kind of a play toy or whether he does love her, and that kind of comes out in his conversation with Josh, who, by the way, I loved both their scenes tonight. The Marcel-Josh scenes were so awesome. But when Marcel's talking and he's like, Rebekah, Sophia, kind of going back and forth, what did you think about that?
I liked it. I loved the part with Josh when he says, "Why don't you call someone more important, like more powerful? Why are you
like
calling
the
me?"
Mikaelsons, yeah.
Seriously, I don't want to mess things up. This was probably some of my favorite parts of the entire episode. I loved the honesty between the characters, the back and forth. And as far as, again, the Rebekah thing, it was a little bit of a gift to us fans what are we calling them? Marcel and Rebekah.
Marveka or Rebsel?
Not Rubsel.
Marveka.
That's still, I guess we'll get used to it. That's what happens with all the ship names. Sorry, guys.
Well, why am I putting a V in there?
Marbecca.
Becca.
I think that's a really cheap
Marca.
kind of wine.
Marca?
I don't know. You guys let us know.
Marika. Yeah, you guys got to let us know on that one. I can't believe that I haven't been saying their ship name because I love them so much.
Yeah, they're probably one of our favorites. Oh, Rebel. Nicholas Kelly said Rebel. I don't know how that...
Oh, yeah, because Reb Marcel, Rebel.
Ooh,
I love
wow.
that. Rebel. And they are like this rebellious, awesome couple.
Yes.
Cool. I'm into that.
I love it. Everyone agrees.
So I thought that was cool, and I also liked when Josh was talking to Marcel, and he was like, I'm your friend, I'm glad to be your friend, and it was interesting, that whole power dynamic that Marcel was talking about that Klaus has explained to him.
Right.
So we got a lot of information from the Marcel and Josh scenes, and I thought that was a cool check-in.
Definitely.
And you're right, it was kind of fan service a little bit with the Rebekah Marcel. We got in on that. All right, so let's move over to another team right now, because this really was like breaking off into sections, and I think that show does it so well when they pair people up and they're on a mission. So we got the Hayley Freya mission. This was maybe the coolest part of the episode, and that's saying something because the other parts of the episode had Rebekah and Marcel in, which I love, and the other part had Kol and Davina. So for me, the fact that the Hayley Freya mission was one of my favorites.
Yeah, that does say a lot.
Right? But didn't you think it was exciting?
I did, but I think I was so excited by all the other things that it wasn't my favorite part, but I did enjoy it. I thought, what is happening?
Yes. So we have to put his mind together before we can pull him out.
That's so scary. Could you imagine your mind being in a bunch of broken puzzle pieces that people need to put back together? That's a nightmare.
This hallway was horrifying. I never want to go there. It looked like the scariest hotel that's ever existed.
Well, shout out to Twin Peaks. I do the after show after this, but I noticed so many things. There is a big hallway theme in Twin Peaks where they go to this place called the Black Lodge, and it's kind of in your mind, and it's a big hallway, and it's terrifying. So like a nice tie, and I like that.
Cool.
Creepy hallways are the worst.
And then adding the red door to it was just the extra touch that was like, oh my God, this show doesn't forget anything it talks about. Because that red door dough.
Yeah, and TV show Ship Edits said, I loved the door/mind aspect because your mind is kind of like a door, and it's terrifying because once you open it, all these crazy things can happen in there.
Yes. So we sent we sent Freya in first because Freya thinks she can get the job done. But she knocks on a couple doors, she goes in, she cannot communicate with him, and he keeps disappearing. Now at this point, I was confused on whether he disappeared once he murdered everybody in the room, or whether he disappeared when he noticed Freya, or whenever she felt like she was connecting with him. When do you think the point of disappearance was for these?
Okay, so in a way, I felt like it was a bunch of different Elijahs that had the same core. Like, we've seen Elijah become a lot of different people throughout the time that we've known him.
And through the thousands of years he's been alive.
Exactly. So you kind of have different personalities. And we're starting to see one this season we're not familiar with, which is him kind of being a bad guy-ish. Before, he was always the good one. So I felt as though these doors were different parts of him, and I feel like he blocks himself out. He kind of can do bad things, then forget about them. But there's still him at the core, and I felt like all of the doors were representing these different parts of him, but he would kind of have a moment of realizing what the heck is going on, and he would either disappear because he was terrified or just didn't want to hurt anybody else. I don't know. There's a lot that can be interpreted about it.
When we finally send Hayley in and she goes to the door where he's giving her back her clothes, did you think that was going to be the door? Did you think that was going to be the one that was him?
Yes,
but then,
I did.
You really did?
Uh-huh. I thought, but actually I didn't when I saw the blood that she had around her mouth, that she had just, hurt somebody. So I felt like now, because I don't think that's the door he'd want to think when he thinks of her, is her being violent.
Oh, that's interesting. Well, I thought that there was no way that was going to be the door because it was too easy. It was the first one she went into. And I was like, you know what? She said she knows him better than anybody. I think we need Klaus to solve this. I was thinking that we were going to send in Hayley. It wasn't going to work. And we were going to have to send Klaus in there because really he knows his brother better than anybody else. And similar to Vampire Diaries, this show is a show about siblings, not about their significant others, no matter how much we like them. So I was thinking Hayley was going to be able to do it, but ding, 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 door number 2 she goes into. And like, if all the other doors are painted white and there's one door that's red, don't you feel like that's the first door you should check?
Or it's the door that, like, you'll die.
Maybe, but it's definitely the first door that I would have checked. She goes on in, and this is where I had some problems. Because why is Hayley that surprised / hurt / conflicted? you just claimed you knew him better than anybody. Do you not know that he's a mass murderer?
Yeah.
Is that lost on you?
And Price Wright in the chat says the red door stands out why she should walk past it. Like that's what's I think the darkest part of him maybe that she has seen, but kind of thinks, oh no, I know the good Elijah. But we need to remember there is a very dark part of Elijah. We just blame it all on Klaus all the time.
Yes, exactly. And I was surprised with Hayley's disdain for him in this moment, and that came out of nowhere to me.
Well, I feel like it's because that's when she heard Hope, right?
So she hears Hope. She's able to make it outside to him because obviously we sent Hope in there. Freya did, which was awesome. And I feel as if it was Hope that pulled Elijah out more than Hayley.
Absolutely.
So when Freya at the end says, Hayley, you did it, you saved him, and she's not like, actually I didn't, it was Hope, I'm confused. What are we supposed to think? That it was Hope or that it was Hayley?
I think we'll find out that it was more Hope, but it's the kind of thing that we have too much to deal with right now. We're not going to say who did it.
Why is Hope able to do it? Because he looks at her like a daughter?
I don't even think that's it. I think it's just she's so incredibly powerful and more powerful than all of them and has a connection to him.
So it had nothing to do with that connection, though? It had more to do with her as a witch?
Yeah, I mean, as much as I know that she loves her uncle Elijah and he loves her, she is just such a strong connection with her father, Klaus. Mm-hmm. And they've really brought that out this season. So to me, their relationship is just kind of, it's nice, but it's not anything that special.
But then in that moment, after Hayley sends Hope away and Elijah's there and he's like, it's me, forgive me. What are you asking for forgiveness for? For what you did 1,000 years ago, or for the fact that you went into this crystal? Why do you need forgiveness? This isn't something you just did. You didn't just murder people. This is your mind.
I felt maybe that he understood what she had seen, and right when she got in there with all the doors, maybe, but you know, it might be more than that, which is probably true because maybe there's something that he's done that we don't know yet.
Maybe. I just felt like I was on Elijah's side in this, and I was upset with Hayley for not being more understanding or compassionate.
Yeah, but at the same time, I think it has a lot to do with she has a daughter, and we always know she comes first, but for the first time, we see her with the second most important person in her life, and of course, it's a million times over her daughter, no question.
Yes.
She would kill Elijah if she had to.
So Hayley wakes up, and I thought that shortly after, Elijah would be coming out. But no, there's an extra step. He's got to stay in there until we have a sacrifice. Mm-hmm. Now, this is where things get tricky because Hayley and Freya obviously are on different pages here. The number one thing to sacrifice is the hollow. They both agree. And
obviously
that would be great, right?
Yes.
But after that, if they can't, they need to sacrifice a big force. And Freya's like, that's going to be Marcel. If it's Elijah or Marcel, it's always going to be Elijah. And that pissed me off. Because why? Because he's not blood, but he's your family. I get it, Freya. You weren't around for a long time, but I'm so frustrated with them not looking at Marcel like he's one of them.
It's hard, but the thing is that Marcel isn't 100% in. He could still turn on them on a dime. You know, we have reconciled a little bit. They have to come back together just because they have to.
But why would they turn on him on a dime? Why would he turn on them? Why would they turn on him? Because they say things like, if we have to murder him, we're gonna.
Yes.
So it makes sense why he would turn on them, because they would murder him if they had to.
Exactly. It's an endless cycle that started a long time ago and then started again last season. And so he knows.
When Elijah murdered him.
Exactly. And so they know they're not stupid. They're not saying this is right or this is good. Like, yo, we murdered him. He's back now. He's been pissed for a while. And if, you know, he has to, he will get revenge on us. And our family is most important. And that's what we care about.
I'm frustrated. I'm pissed by that.
Yeah, let's see.
What you
Divya Ristagi said, Freya needs to stop hating on Marcel even though she knows how much Klaus loves him. Very true.
It's a weird kind of love, though, that Klaus has for him.
It is a very weird love, but I feel like Freya's the one that's been causing the most, like, you kill him, you do this. She knows more than everybody else does, I get it.
She's causing issues.
She is causing issues.
I agree. All right, now on the complete other end, like we talked about before, Kol, who ran off. Now we figure out where he's going. So he goes to the Harvest Witches with, to me, the most reasonable proposal of all time. I couldn't believe how cool, calm, and collected he was when he got there. And I was thinking, wow, this is gonna be easy.
You thought that.
I did. I did because of what he said. I mean, did you not?
I thought when he said, I actually am the sibling that is the most with you guys, and he just appealed to them logically. If you're going to trust one of us, trust me.
I've been a friend to the witches. Here are dark objects. I'm giving you something in return. You know, I'm not just blackmailing you. And I've helped witches in the past. And not to mention, one of the witches is the love of my life, and I would never do anything to hurt you guys. I'm not my brother. I thought the Harvest Witches would be like, all right, let's do it. Let's do it for him.
Well, and it pissed me off, too, because I'm thinking everyone, once they're recovering from being hurt for whatever happened to them, they're able to make alliances they wouldn't have made before. We see that this entire time. But the Harvest Witches, who Amy and Jessica Nicholas just said their names were, they didn't want to make alliances. It seems like the witches hold grudges so badly, and they don't want to make alliances with anyone else but witches, which makes them different.
Do we think that Vincent will be able to middleman the situation a little bit?
Yes, I do.
That's where we could have thrown him in. We needed a little Vincent in our life. Not that Vincent would have Cole's back. But maybe if it was for Davina.
Yeah, I mean, the thing at the end of the day is that people, the lesson the world needs is people need to come together in order to, overcome something bigger.
Right.
And that's what all these supernatural creatures tend to do. They go, okay, I don't like you, but I guess we have to do this together in order to overcome everything.
Yeah, exactly. The enemy of your enemy is your friend.
Yep.
So Davina ends up popping up. She's in this weird bubble. I don't know how to describe that. Like a protected bubble. We actually get a Colvina moment. Cole actually sees Davina, which is smashed by the hollow. That was me swearing a bunch of times in my head. Like, oh my God, how pesky can you be, Hollow? Not only are you horrible, but you're also so annoying.
But she also, to me, and this annoys me about it, the casting a bit, she looks way too much like Davina in the dark.
What's the deal? Are they supposed to be sisters? Because obviously not, but why are they so similar looking?
Because when they show her in a shadow, I go, wait, is that Davina? And their voices don't sound that different either.
No, that's why, remember, we thought that it was the Hollow coming out and going in. I mean, Davina going into Sophia's body. We're like, what's Davina doing in Sophia's body?
I do hope they address it, but I do think the producers and writers of the show, some of them were on the Vampire Diaries, when they had that vampire hunter come in after Nina Dobrev died, who looked exactly like Nina Dobrev.
But they did it on purpose.
But why?
So did they do this on purpose?
I don't know why. I didn't think they did it on purpose because there didn't seem to be much of a connection at the end of the day to them. I thought it was just like, oh, whoops, maybe the casting directors have a type.
Just an easier transition for us, I thought was the purpose. I don't know, but God, Hollow, why are you messing with us? You bring out Davina, but now you're playing with Cole and you've attached yourself to Davina, so what does that even mean? Does that mean if you get hurt, she gets hurt, or if she gets hurt, you get hurt?
Well, yeah, they created she created a tie between them. I'm blanking on the exact word what they used. Yeah, a link. Exactly, a link. So now
Cole is going to have to be on the Hollow side to protect her, so that nothing happens to Davina, which means that Cole is going up against all his siblings.
And I hate this. I do hate this because he's gonna choose Davina.
Of course. But is Davina the same, or do we believe Klaus when he says that she's not the same person? And also, do we think that the Hollow will really let Davina live at the end of the day?
I'm not sure because I won't know until she lets Sophia go. Like, where, again, like, what did we end up with Sophia? You know, is she going to be okay? Is she not going to be okay?
We've got her, but she's not okay as of now.
Yeah, so until she's okay, then
because he needs the Hollow's blood. Oh, yeah, remember when Marcel went to drink the Hollow's blood and it looked like it was vervain, but maybe it was just the Hollow?
It was just, like, poison.
Yes.
It was disgusting. But until I see that Sophia's okay, I would say, okay, we have one trial run of someone coming out of this alive and okay. But I don't think she will be the same. It's funny because we'll see people come in and out of like dying, coming back to life, then they're a little bit different. But then sometimes if they're just gone for like 6 episodes and they're sleeping, then they come back and they're kind of okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know if that bodes well for Davina though. She's that dead right now.
But she's such a powerful witch that I feel as though she fought so hard when she died, and that's part of the reason that she's still around. And maybe it is the Kolvina love. And I really hope that they make us happy with this reuniting of the two of them in some way, shape, or form. Yeah,
me too. I need them to be able. I need her not to be Bubble Girl, and I need them to be able to hold each other by the end of the season.
Yeah, I'm just like, why did they have to write her off?
I don't know.
Because
she's
she's
back
for
she's next around. Year, though. I want her back.
Yes.
All right, so quick question before we get to predictions. This episode, as I talked about, was called Phantomesque. ... Why?
You've asked. We talked about it beforehand, and I have no answer for you. So if you guys
that's
in the
not
chat,
even to you, that's just to you. That's to you guys. Why?
Yeah.
Why is this? Some of these episode titles are so weird, man. Aren't they all supposed to be song titles or movie titles or
something like that? So in the chat, tell us, or in the comments on YouTube, why is this episode called Phantomesque?
I feel like we're missing something.
I feel a bit stupid.
Oh yeah.
For not I'm not sure.
But I called us out, which, that could make it more stupid or less, because maybe you guys at home are confused too, and we can start having that conversation about it.
Maybe it's something about there being okay, what would you describe a phantom? What's the definition of a phantom?
Of the opera?
Yeah, like, let's think about Phantom of the Opera. A phantom is kind of like a facade, I think.
So is the Hollow the phantom, or is Davina the phantom?
Maybe it's both. Maybe there is a connection between Davina and the Hollow that we don't understand, and that's why it's called the Phantom. That's just a theory.
That's a good theory. Let's go to predictions on that one.
All right.
And now, your AfterBuzz TV predictions.
Okay, what you got for me, Sam D?
All right. I think that Davina and Kol will go very far as throwing under any of his siblings under the bus to get Davina, and I think that I could see somebody sacrificing themselves, possibly Kol, for Davina, for her to come back and do some kind of good. I think that
because if interesting.
People were talking about some sacrifice, and well, obviously there's a big sacrifice component to this episode, but maybe somehow it could possibly be Kol.
But what's interesting about that is that Kol isn't going to let Freya sacrifice Marcel or the Hollow in order to do what they have to do. So I really think we're probably going to see a Kol-Freya battle in the end here. And also, remember, Rebekah called Kol saying she was going to stick around, and he said he's not. So my big prediction, obviously, is that he's going to stick around based on what's now going on with Davina.
So people in the chat are saying that a phantom, making sense now, ghost, right? That's a ghost. It's a spirit. And that...
That's the Hollow or Davina?
Someone in the chat said, Nasir Bly said that I thought Elijah was the phantom. So it could have to do with that, because it is his spirit and his memories jumping around from thing to thing that they're observing. So maybe we're on the wrong track. I'm not sure. Maybe they're just supposed to keep us guessing. I also think that Hope is going to continue to be stronger and will somehow end up saving the day, of course.
I love that her name is Hope. Mm-hmm. It works every time that we say it.
Every time.
She's perfect. All right, well, those are our predictions then. We want to hear from you guys, so make sure you write in the comments below on iTunes, on YouTube, and, of course, tweet at us, Sam D.
Yeah, you guys can find me online at samdavidsonentertainment.com and on Twitter and Instagram at samd43. We love hearing your thoughts and theories. It makes my day seeing them all the time, so please keep it coming.
And the chat mistress herself, Tiana Hobson, is at the Tiana Hobson. I'm sure she watched the episode with her mom this week.
Yeah, probably.
So she likes to do
Shout
that
out
so
to you
much
guys.
more. And we're going to be having Summer on at some point, the girl that plays Hope. So we love her. And if you guys have questions for her, start to tweet those at us. I'm at Roxy Striar. We're at AfterBuzz TV. And until next week, same time, same place. We love you guys.
Bye.
From executive producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire AfterBuzz TV staff, we would like to thank you for listening to the AfterBuzz TV network. To watch or listen to other after shows and post comments or questions, be sure to visit AfterBuzzTV.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of AfterBuzz TV.
Buzz you later.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of AfterBuzz TV or its owners or principals.